Yo, what's up, guys? CastnBlast here. Today we're back on Strategy Corner. We're doing something new with the Builder Hall. I haven't done any videos on it. You guys have been requesting. I figured I'd go to the best source I knew. We are here with SuperTexan. SuperTexan, how are you doing?
Doing pretty well. How are you today, buddy?
Doing great. I appreciate you coming on today. As we look on the leaderboards, you're currently sitting number 3, 4,200 cups in the U.S. So I would say you're a probably pretty good source for ideas on this builder hall.
Yeah, hopefully I'll have a few good strategies for you guys today.
All right, yeah, we're go over some of your replays here, but let's first try to get to know you. So obviously you trophy push. You trophy push in the main game as well.
Yeah, trophy push in the main base too. I'm a max Town Hall 11 with a personal best of 6,439 trophies. So yeah, trophy pushing is always something that I've done and really enjoyed. Better than farming and war strategies, something like that. I've always really enjoyed trophy pushing.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely two types of people. I would say war and then trophy pushers. I've always been on the war side myself, so I was pretty excited to get to talk to you. You know, it's definitely a different mindset when you're going in for a long trophy grind. Some of those questions, I guess, are leading. I do know you, so I know you push on your main account as well. Great meeting you back in the camcord days. We'll take a look kind of at your clan here. Can you talk about your clan? You're in NightModeClash, right?
Yeah, so NightModeClash, and for a majority of the season, we've been number one in the world as far as a global clan. Always usually number one in the United States as well. Have a bunch of the top players in the world in the clan. Also have a bunch of live streamers, YouTubers, things of that nature. So there's a lot of high level strategies getting shared. High level troops, being used. As far as everybody's concerned in there, everybody is pretty much a max BH5. So you're seeing like the best of the best as far as like the replays and things of that. So
Now,
there's a lot of competition here too. Whenever you get a bunch of the top players in the world together, I mean, there's always super good competition. So,
right. Now this NightModeClash, do you guys also push on your regular bases, or do you set up a separate clan for that?
yeah, it's as far as this clan is concerned, it's all the players in here are just specifically trophy pushers on the night mode. So, I believe there's only maybe 2 other guys that actually push on the day mode. So, we're not like affiliated with any day mode clans as of right now. So maybe in the future, but as of right now, this is just night mode trophy pushing.
Gotcha. All right. We're taking a look at your base here, so it's pretty maxed out. Did you get that maxed out day one right away?
Day one, yeah. So day one, I was pretty close to max. Other than the walls, I think the walls and a few troops are the only thing that I didn't max out right off the bat. And then I was able to push up to about 3,100, 3,200 like the first couple of days the game came out. So, and now I've just slowly been working on like doing 1 wall per day. So I'm almost fully maxed out. But yeah, I was pretty close to max the very first day it came out. I used a few gems and sped up the process a little bit.
Gems always help get a strong foothold in the game.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And so you do night mode. You do the day game, normal Clash of Clans, trophy pushing. I know you've been top on there quite a few times. What else do you do? You stream on Twitch as well, right? You want to talk about that?
Stream on Twitch. Usually a few hours, between 4 and 6 hours. Maybe between 4 and like 6 times per week. So usually in the afternoons around 3 p.m. like Central Time to 4 p.m. Central Time, and then usually just go either until I'm tired, or maybe we're tilting a little too bad, something like that. But yeah, all the gameplay on my Twitch channel is all just trophy pushing. The night mode as of recently, and then in the past has been a lot of trophy pushing on the main base in the cloud. So it's just all trophy pushing, and then we watch a lot of replays from the clan as well too. So that way we kind of keep it pretty exciting. you get to see ground and air attacks, things of that nature. So usually it's pretty fun, pretty good time. The chat's usually pretty good if nobody's trolling or anything. But no, there's a bunch of good community on Twitch. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it seems like your Night Mode Clash clan's doing pretty well as you guys take up a whopping, what, 8 spots in the top 10 in the U.S.?
yeah,
Holding
doing
down
pretty
number 2
well.
global right now.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate enough to like Itsu, is regarded as like one of the top players in the world on the builder mode, and for some reason he's kind of taken a liking to our clan, so he's always stopping by visiting, and it's really gained a lot of popularity too. So a lot of the top players in the world like to call it home here, and a lot of the players are on their mini accounts as well. So it's super fun, super good competition. So
Right. All right. So what this video series does, I kind of go over strategies, talk about how you got to where you are, what you look for. I know Night Mode Clash is new to a lot of us. I'm getting more into it, trying to push up there, compete at least above 3K cups for me.
yeah.
What do you prioritize when you're looking at your base? As far as defenses, do you like to go splash? Are you focused, on walls last? What's kind of your main priorities when you're looking to upgrade?
So on defense, what's super strong right now is barbarian. They call it barb rush. It's just kind of the abbreviated thing, but it's 3 camps of barbarians and then 1 camp of bombers and your hero, and that's what you're going to use to break into the base. And then you just kind of rush the base with barbarians and kind of overwhelm the defenses. So your number one defense against barb rush is always going to be your crusher and your bombs on the ground. So the bombs play a huge role as far as like how successful you're going to be on defense. So bomb placement, your spring trap placement, things like that. You want to kind of direct all the traffic, all your traps, like your push trap, your spring traps. You want to kind of have those directed towards the crusher, because if you can get the barbarians routed into the crusher,
Right.
then you'll have a really good chance of defending against ground. And then also air too. A lot of people, you'll see the archer towers and you'll see them on fast, and then some people like to use the long range just to cover for so people can't snipe a bunch of buildings with the minions. But the meta, it's called meta minion, which is 2 camps minions and then 2 camps baby dragons. That's a super strong strategy as well, which my personal favorite one, because air is always super fun. Like kind of reminds me of like a miniature Lavalonian raid. But you want to keep your firecrackers, which is kind of like the air defense,
Right.
away from your air bombs on this. So that way, if you have those split up, it's really hard to get a 3-star. So mainly a good player up here in the top 100 or top 200 can get a 2-star pretty easy on any base.
Right.
But that's what separates it. If you can get a 2-star high percentage, that's pretty much guaranteed for a win. So if you could keep them to a low percentage 2-star, then more than likely you'll be successful on the night mode and you'll be able to actually move up pretty well.
So sounds like 2 separate strategies right now. You got some barbs, you got a couple different mini, maybe baby drag attacks. Are you focused more on setting your traps on ground only, air only, or do you prefer kind of a split, or just leave it up to your air defenses to cover air? Like me personally, I'm not as high as you, so basically everyone runs ground, or I can just let my air defenses take care of the air.
Yeah, for sure, and that's an excellent way to look at it as well. Is right now I have all my bombs on either one or the other, either all on air or all on ground. And it sounds like there's probably some scientific way to do it, but if I get hit more than 3 times in a row with all air, then I'll switch all my bombs to air. If I get hit more than 3 times in a row with like all barbarians or all ground, then I'll have my bombs on ground. So it's just you have to go with the flow. What are you getting hit most with? A lot of times, like 3,000 to that 3,500 range is a lot of air, So like I would highly suggest, for that trophy range, you definitely want to have all your bombs on air, because you're going to be getting hit a lot with baby dragons and, maybe a few minions, something like that. So But the higher you go up, ground is, certainly pretty deadly. So I try to I try to keep all of my bombs, just go with the flow and just whatever you're getting hit with on defense, mainly, several times in a row. That's what I'll adjust to. So I highly recommend either keeping them all on air or all on ground, though. Pick one and go with it, because if you have half of them on air and half of them on ground, essentially you're going to be wasting half of your bombs, and you're either going to get hit with air or ground, one of the two. A few people kind of mix it up a little bit, but for the most part, somebody's going to go in with a full-blown air raid or a full-blown ground raid. So it's easier just to pick one and stick with it.
So you kind of got to pick your poison. Too hard to defend against everything, so kind of pick,
So
specialize in something,
right?
right?
Set up to defend against one or the other.
Right. And base building, that's another big. So that's what, base building in the normal game. If you're trophy pushing, obviously you want to try to get the one, prevent them from the 2-star, but definitely prevent from the 3-star trophy pushing. In war, it usually comes down to you getting more 3-stars. So here in the night mode, I kind of see there's two thoughts on base building. Either you're going to have the build all your walls in, beef up your defenses, and try to keep them at bay. Or what a lot of people use is trickery. Maybe a hole here to funnel troops, or try to get them look one side's weaker to throw the troops at the other side. Do you have a preference as far as walling off your bases, or using more of the trickery method?
Yeah, so on the strategy I tend to go with is, if you can get a fail on the enemy's bombers, then usually it makes it pretty hard. For everything to get into the base. My most popular base design that I like to use is your main defenses are in one box, or one section that's all walled off, and then you have your spare walls, maybe about 40 spare walls that are on the outside of the base, that'll essentially direct the bombers. And usually what you try to do there is waste time with the bombers and keep the bombers on the outside of the base, so that way the mortars have enough time to do their splash damage, things like that. If you get an inexperienced player that drops down, maybe like 10 to 15 barbarians to try to break through the wall like that, usually the maxed out level walls will do a good job of defending them enough time to at least get one or two mortar splashes on them. So that's what I'll try to do as far as base building goes, like that. Also, too, like talking about trying to direct the troops. If I do have an open base design, like the current base I'm running is open at the bottom and on the sides, and that's just to direct everything towards the crusher. So obviously, if you're going to have an open base design, it's going to be set up just for anti-ground. So that's what you want to do. If you are going to have gaps in your base, you want to direct everything towards the crusher. The crusher is like I've said earlier in the video, just your number one source of defense against ground. So
yeah, and I've seen, looking at your home base now, not sure if you use it in trophy pushing, but that base type has eaten me a lot. It seems like you try to figure out a way not to direct your troops towards the crusher, and then they just want to walk
seems
there.
like they always, they're like a magnet, just getting drawn into it sometimes. But
oh yeah. All right, we got a couple replays. So defense, went over defense a little bit. There's a replay up here. Man, there's a bunch of 3-stars in your clan. I guess being top in the world, you guys got to be pretty good at getting a few 3-stars, right?
I try to be on top of your game at all times, and it's fun to show off too. Anytime somebody gets a 3-star, they'll share it, and then 9 times out of 10, you'll end up matching with the same. Usually we'll match with the same people about every 20th rotation. So it's always good to watch replay, see how somebody attacks a certain style of base. So that way it keeps everybody in the clan current.
Yeah. So I just pulled up your attack, the first attack that kind of listed there. Base is at the bottom of the base. I figured we could kind of walk through it. You could go what you're seeing. Now, do you like to go with a certain set of army every time?
Yeah, so the main army strategy, the main two that I like to use is either air or ground. And for air, I like to use 2 camps of minions and 2 camps of baby dragons. Using the baby dragons to tank for the minions and just kind of sweep throughout the base, and then use a hero pretty early, maybe about 10 to 20%, drop the hero down, and usually get one of the archer towers to target the hero. Usually that I find that strategy works out pretty well for me. High percentage 2-star. But the way I look at a base is, and like this base here, if you have it pulled up, the crusher is actually at the very back of the base.
Right.
So I know that I can get a high percentage 2-star on this base just based on that one fact that the crusher is at the back of the base with a ground-based army. So like when the replay starts, you see that I have my minion dragon army ready. And then I switch over to the 3 camps of barbarians and the 1 camp of bombers just to try to bust through the walls. I drop my hero down first and go ahead and hit his ability as soon as possible.
I just saw you switch the troops there. I had it paused on the beginning.
All right.
So you have 45
that's
barbs
another
now.
thing that's absolutely awesome. Just, that I really do like about the night mode is how you can switch up the troop composition. That's absolutely epic right there. Because, you're guaranteed to, get a specific army for whichever base you're looking at. You're able to go in, and, they're also able to do the same thing to you. So you're seeing some of the best attacks, possible, with the army. So it's definitely different than multiplayer on the main base when you're going into like you might find a base that's like, everything's set up for anti-air. It's just designed for anti-air, and you have a ground army, so you're going to do pretty well on it. That's one thing I like about the night mode is how you can adjust and pick your troops.
Yeah.
But I decided to drop my battle machine. Number one strategy is just to drop him and hit his ability right off the bat, because it takes time to recharge. And then if you drop him next to a building, he's going to get 3 of his special ability hits off on a building. And so he's able to do an insane amount of damage for 3 hits, and then go ahead and then just wait on his ability to recharge. So the sooner you do that, if you watch a lot of the replays, people actually drop him, pretty far away from the base, and that's the only reason they do that. Drop him away, hit the ability. By the time he makes it to the base, he gets 3 hits, and then his ability is recharged again. He's able to go ahead and mash into the base or take down the first 2 or 3 buildings.
So yeah, we just saw you threw down your hero, use the ability. You got about 4 groups of barbs going in, a couple bombers to keep your raged up barbs going on the right side, and no baby dragons. Took it all out. Took all the babies
took
out.
All the air out. I'm not really a fan of keeping. Sometimes I will keep one camp of minions. But if you look on here, the archer towers are the standing archer towers. It's hard to pick off any of the buildings. You might be able to pick off 1 or 2 buildings up top with minions, but that's not a very good 1 or 2 buildings to snipe with minions. That's just not a very good rate of return. If you can snipe up to about 6 to 7 buildings with your minions, then it's a good strategy to bring them in. But if not, it's just it's all about value. You just have to see how much percentage points you can get. So for example, on this base, you have the air defense up top, you have the firecrackers, you have the standing archer towers, which has an insane amount of range. So pretty much I was like, man, it'll probably be better just to go with the barbarians. And then on this strategy, you just kind of sprinkle them in throughout the base. And you want to save about 10. I think I actually save 8 on this raid, but you want to save between 10 to like 12, somewhere in that range, just for the town hall. And as soon as the town hall goes down, then you can kind of sprinkle them in throughout the base wherever you need to pick up extra percentage points. But for sure, you want to save some to guarantee the 2-star, because if you don't get a 2-star up here, it's an automatic loss. 90% of the time.
Yeah, so what I'd be concerned about, definitely splash damage using all barbs. You got a mortar and a crusher. I already know the ending because I saw the 3-star, but right now we're 44 seconds in. Your hero just got to the town hall. You still got the crusher to deal with. That thing will eat barbarians for dinner. Not sure how it's going to happen here. But are you just trying to spread out the barbs and kind of do the most damage? Did you think this would be a 3-star going into it?
Yeah, and then your bombers will be able to do some cleanup as well. So I knew that if I could just focus a majority of the barbs on the interior of the base and also the left side of the base, that I could have those 2 barbs or the 2 bombers kind of clean up all the extra stuff on the top of the base. So
Oh, that makes sense.
And
So
the max level bomber too, the AI is set up to go for either the nearest building or the nearest wall, whichever one's closest. So if you get them, if on like a base like this, if you can get the defenses down on the interior of the wall, and then you have the buildings that kind of skirt the wall, the bomber will actually take all those out. So it's pretty, pretty good strategy to use there.
yeah, not a bad strategy. I've seen myself starting to use the bombers more instead of just sitting giants or something at a wall punching it. I don't know if the AI had changed, but it seemed like in the beginning they would avoid buildings at all
Yeah.
cost.
Yeah, so as you level them up, then the AI will, kind of change, or every single troop kind of gets their own ability. Like the archers have the cloaking ability, the barbarians have the rage when you drop them down. The minions have like the snipe ability where they're able to, do 2 long range hits before they actually move in and do, start taking damage. So a lot of that's you just kind of have to make sure. That's one very important thing is to pick a troop and just make sure you level them all the way up to the max. So that way you're able to use their ability as well.
So we'll see if that was a good ground attack there. I think the next one down might be a air attack.
Okay. Ladner.
We got Stowell. Ladner, is that air? So I've watched you on Twitch. Yep, there we go. That is air. So
Okay. Which one are you looking at?
Ladner,
Okay. All right. Let me pull it up here.
kind of walk
Okay.
in. It seems like you do really well using the baby drags quite often while we're watching you on Twitch. I just haven't gotten into them. I maxed up all my ground troops real quick and still chipping away on my baby drag upgrades. So figure
Yeah. So
the payoffs
whenever
up.
you're looking at a base like this, you actually see the town hall on the kind of the left side
Right.
or the west side of the base. And then you see that air defenses are or the firecrackers are kind of tucked in the base right there. And then you have the air bombs all the way at the back. This is a super good base to use air on, or use what's essentially called the meta minion on, which is the baby dragons and the minions. You drop down your minions like he's doing now to try, snipe the buildings, also to try to lower the CC out, take the CC out. The CC is super strong on here. It's, in my opinion, like the second best defense on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of just sweep through the base, which is looking like what he's about to roll into and try to accomplish here.
So it looks like I'm at 223-ish. I don't know how far ahead of you are than
Yeah,
me.
I'm fast forwarding to there. So it looks like he just drops his minions down. Looks like the clan castle is going to go down, or the 2 archers out of the clan castle. And then if you always notice too, a perfect thing to do is save 3 minions. He actually saves his hero on here as well, as he's going through the base. But it looks like the town hall is about to go down, or the builder hall. My bad. Get those confused every once in a while.
Hey,
Still has a very good spread going throughout the base. And the next thing is you want to try to get that crusher down as well. If you can get that crusher down or get that crusher damaged pretty good, your hero will actually be able to take that out. And if there's no double cannons, and the crusher are the #1 defense against the battle machine. So if you can get those down, which it looks like he has both double cannons down,
mm-hmm.
looks like he also has a crusher to about 1 hit. He's going to go ahead and sprinkle another minion down there. So, yeah, he's
Kind of
able to.
funnel.
Yeah, and then they try to funnel the battle machine into the interior of the base.
So he did what you're talking about, set it in the back, hit the ability. Now it's going to let him use the ability and recharge at the same time.
Yeah, and it should recharge here shortly, and then he'll probably use the ability to go ahead and take down the crusher. And his battle machine is at full health right here. Goes ahead and uses it right there. Should get 1 hit, and the crusher goes down. So perfect use of the battle machine's special ability right there, and then just the archer tower and that Tesla right there. Obviously, just not gonna do enough damage to take the battle machine down. Goes ahead and drops his last minion down there to take out some of the buildings on the exterior of the base, and then obviously the hero will do the work on the interior. So very good, very good decision to use air against this base, and then very good use of the hero ability, and also very good job saving a few minions for the very end of the raid as well. Also, if you save a few minions can actually, be a 3-star or like a 88%. So it's always good to save some cleanup troops, just like it is in, any normal trophy pushing situation as well. Or in war too, if you're trying to go for a 2-star and you get the town hall, you definitely want to save a few, archers or minions, something like that, to try to snipe a building on the outside for that 2nd star. So
Yeah, cleanup troops definitely make a difference in the higher town halls when you're going in there. So on air, that was what I kind of call like more of the push method. Is that kind of what you're looking to do most of the time with air? Kind of sweep through one area of the base?
yeah, sweep through. That's your main goal, is to sweep through one area of the base, and that was very good. Also, if you take a look at that base too, the builder hall, and then being kind of off centered like that, and then having the crusher right behind it. Obviously, if you were to use barbs or any type of ground right there, you're going to have to make a huge commitment towards the builder hall side. On the other side of the builder hall is obviously the crusher. Crusher is super hard to take down with your barbarians or any, even giants and archers. It's hard to take down. So if you were to use ground, you'd have to commit an absolute insane amount to be able to take down the builder hall. So that's a very good decision on a base setup like that, where the crusher is near the town hall. Very good decision to go ahead and just use air and just avoid the crusher altogether.
There you go. So to be a good trophy push in this, you need a solid set of air troops for these type of bases, and then a solid set of ground troops. You can't just be an air or a ground type attacker.
Right, right.
Think that's where I'm missing out at. So, yeah, it looks good on here. I'll get something playing here in the background, probably the next replay down there as we wrap up. Few other questions. So right now, obviously, it's in the infancy stage. This is the first release of it. Brand new mode for Clash. Caught a lot of people off guard. And once I got what it is and what I'm doing, I'm really liking it. I never thought I'd be a trophy pusher, but in this, obviously, I'm trophy pushing. Anything you would like to see come in the next update? Anything you're looking for? Maybe troop improvement, building improvement, search improvement, whatever you want. What are you, open floor? What do you think?
Well, too, like, kind of what going on what you were saying. I think this is absolutely an insanely good update. The builder hall is kind of has like the Clash Royale type feel going into a head-to-head battle, but it's with Clash of Clans style gameplay. So absolutely awesome. I love that. Heads up, puts a lot of pressure on the other person. As far as like any kind of upcoming update, I know there's some new like builder hall levels. I guess they announced like 6 is coming in the future. So, but yeah, new troops, new defenses, stuff like that. Definitely to keep the game going. The only other thing that I would like to see is like, kind of up here at the high level, it's real easy to find the same people over and over again. At least every 10 to 15 raids, you'll find the same person. Obviously, it makes sense because their trophies are equivalent to yours. So I would like to see, maybe if somebody had been in the same clan as somebody else recently or something like that, kind of like the win trading going on with some of the other clans and things of that nature, kind of be sorted out, or, at least kind of looked into. I know there was a few, people talking at the very end of the last season that, some clans kind of came out of nowhere and a few players, kind of went from about 4,000 to 4,400 trophies, and like it seemed like a matter of a few hours at the very end of the season. So I'd like to see something like that. But I guess in the early stages of Clash Royale, it was a similar. It was kind of the same thing. There was only a handful of people at a certain trophy range, so it was easy for those people to match up against each other. But as of right now, I think it's a very solid gameplay. Obviously I enjoy it. I play it a lot every single day. So, and any update that brings a lot of people back to the Clash community, I think is an awesome update. So, I know there was people that kind of talked a little bit negatively about it, whenever it first came out, but I think a lot of people are kind of coming around to it, and I think it's a very, very awesome move Clash of Clans decided to make with this update.
I will agree there as well. It definitely feeds my competitive, like you said, Clash Royale type. Hey, let's just go out and instantly verse someone. Me personally, I would like to see more quicker playtime, almost like Clash Royale, where your troops are ready to go instantly and you can just battle over and
Yeah,
over
that's
again. You
yeah,
know,
that's true too. The
it,
troop time, maybe reduce the troop time and the hero machine wait time. That way, people are actually able to hop back in the clouds. People that not like us that don't like to gym a lot, but yeah,
right.
that's one improvement that I could see being made. Maybe reduce troop time down to or almost nothing. Especially with the battle machine too. That way, people could actually raid back to back. Also, too, the loot cap. The loot cap kind of. I know a lot of that's the number one concern with a lot of players is the loot cap is really high. Maybe reduce the time on that, reduce the gem cost on that, or I don't know, maybe decrease the amount of loot that you get per raid and let people do more raids per day. I've heard that as an idea as well. So maybe something like that.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let you play more for loot. The loot cap bothered me a little bit at the beginning until I understood it's more of a trophy pushing. I've always raided to get loot. I'm a war farmer type player. So I was very confused at first at the loot cap when it hit me. But now that I'm enjoying pushing up my cups, the loot cap isn't that big of a deal. It's just the wait in, 5 minutes for my hero and my troops to refresh and before I hit another one. I just want to keep instantly playing. Like Clash Royale, you hit the next button, you finish, you lose, win, doesn't matter, next opponent.
Yeah, sure.
That would, for me, be my one thing. That's about it. I'm enjoying it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I know it seems like you guys are enjoying it. The community's definitely warmed up and taken a high liking to it. Every time I get on Twitch, I see more and more people streaming night mode. So that's got to be a good thing for the Clash community overall.
Oh, for sure.
Anything else you'd like to say? Got a little more time here. If you want to promote your channel, anything else?
Just yeah, if you guys like what y'all saw in the video today, just feel free to check me out on twitch.tv/SuperTexan. Usually live in the afternoons, most weekdays, and usually on the weekends as well, Saturday and Sunday. So, and then yeah, just thanks for coming to the clan and getting a few replays, man. Much love. It's always good to have you around for sure, buddy.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how far you go, how far your clan goes. Really excited I could get you on. Been trying to get our schedules lined up here, so I appreciate you making time for us. Hopefully we'll continue to see you excel. I know a lot of things are going to be ironed out, but it seems like this is a good method. Your Twitch streams have always been awesome, so if you guys haven't followed SuperTexan, if you haven't seen him before, if this is your first exposure to him, make sure you go check him out on Twitch. Mentioned a bunch of people to check out, but his streams are really awesome. You can see how he talks here. Just great guy to hang out with. Watch him at high level gameplay that you won't get, at a lot of other places. So appreciate you coming on. That is SuperTexan on Twitch. And we'll catch you soon, all right?
All right, sounds good.